Sometimes you just have to wake up and do your hair. Good morning, vlogsters. Let me get headphones in. I feel like I have to shout when I don't have my headphones in. My family got a new Dyson air purifier for the living room that I can control with my phone, so I could just sit here and turn it off. I mean, the other one had a remote control too, but we were so obsessed about not losing it that we used to keep it on top. And what was the point? You might as well just get up and change it. Anyhow, good morning. Oh, Jim's vlogging very loud. Just gonna take my first sip. Take a sip with me, please. Today is just regular coffee with Italian sweet cream, and oh, sweet mystery of life, at last I found you. Today is day 2 post-COVID vaccine, shot 2. Yesterday, we didn't vlog or anything. I'm gonna tuck this because we didn't vlog or anything. We did record a little bit around the living room, but Jimmy had the ick side effects. He basically felt achy all over and just took the day easy. His mind wanted to just do all the things because I told him that's what's bad about planning a planner. But, you know, if he needs to do that, that's fine. But he has to allow himself to be flexible on days where he's either injured or he's hurt or he's sick. You never know what's going to happen. So you have to give yourself some grace, flexibility, and that whole thing. Today, I'm vlogging. This is Friday, so you'll see it on Saturday. I ordered some Duncan Hines keto baking products. I saw good reviews on them. I went to order them on Amazon, and they wanted like $12, $14 a box. And I was like, excuse my language, but hell to the no. I ain't doing that. So when I looked on Walmart's website, because I went to Duncan Hines' website, and they said sold at Walmart. And I was like, well, my Walmart doesn't have them. I did a site-to-store pickup in Salem, Missouri, which is basically about 30 minutes down the road. It has a really good Dollar Tree. So yesterday, I didn't have any negative effects. Actually, yesterday I felt fantastic most of the day. I was up without my walker. I could get off the couch by myself. It was such a good day until about 8 o'clock at night. I had just gotten up. Here's the thing. I try very, I try to limit the amount of times that I get off the couch because it's so low. It's not really good for my knee. If my couch was a little higher, or if I had the lift chair like I did in New York, it'd be a different story. But for right now, the couch is kind of low. So I try to limit the amount of times that I get up. So if I get up, I'm going to use that time to do multiple things. Well, yesterday I was feeling so good and getting up by myself. I gotten to the point where I was like, I'm just going to get up every time I need something. Well, yeah, I might have overdid it. No, I overdid it. Because that last time it was about 7:30. I got up and I was like, oh, nope, I need help. So it was good. I have to take it for what it was. It was a good day. Not a great evening. It was a great day. It was a good evening. It was an okay night. And this morning, I don't want to say I'm paying for it this morning, but this morning the knee's hurting, kind of like I overdid it yesterday, just as it does sometimes. But what really is bothering me today is my shot arm, which didn't bother me at all yesterday. I mean, it was sore. Like I felt like I have a brother who's 10 years my senior who was just like, I don't want to say he was a bully, but he picked on us a lot. I've told a lot of funny stories, but he used to give us dead arms, and that's what it feels like. I have a dead arm. And then my sisters would be like, he never touched you. I never. Yeah, sure. I just have this imagination that I got a dead arm 1,000 times in my life. Whatever. Or a dead leg. Punch me so hard in the leg sometimes. Ugh. Karma. But anyway, so yesterday I felt like I had a dead arm. Today it hurts. I know I have shoulder issues in the past. This feels like a different type of shoulder pain. but it feels like it's radiated up into like a pinched nerve in my neck almost. You know, I can work it out so it's not like a pinched nerve when you get like a stiff neck. It just feels like, you know. And it's funny because he came out and he goes, maybe that's what it is, because I described my pain. He goes, maybe that's what it is. I had that same thing and I didn't know what it was from. I thought I just slept wrong. And I was like, well, we could have slept wrong. I mean, I don't sleep on that shoulder. I have to sleep on my stomach. But, you know, you never know. So anyway, that's my medical report for today. We are still making some progress in here. Yesterday, Jim had like 10 minutes where he wanted to do some work. He's like, I don't know if you have like light work for me to do. I said, sure, we can do whatever you want, whatever you feel up to it. So we just had a couple of things that I wanted to try out. We did not record the process because whatever, we showed you like the end results or whatever. But what I have is that black tray that I had over here originally has a tray on it. And the tray has a like a scalloped edge. And this is a tray table as well, the one that I have here currently. And what I wanted to do was to turn the black cubey table that I turned on its side, I wanted to get a tray for it. Not get a tray, I have several trays. I actually have a long black tray that I thought would work perfectly. And you'll see the videos coming, but it didn't quite fit. And then I had the red tray, let's try the red tray. Well, what we worked it out was we're actually going to have a solution, which is great. I just have to wait for it to be not 90 degrees and not 75% humidity so I could spray paint that. I actually said to Jimmy, I'm like, maybe I'll just paint it with chalk paint because I don't know when I'm going to get to spray paint the way the weather is. Because even if it's like cooler at night, which it wasn't last night, it was overnight. The coolest it was overnight last night was 70, which for here is high. You know, it's one of the things I told my sister when she was coming for my birthday last year, because we call her Holly Hormone, and she's always warm. She like wears shorts in January. But I told her, I was like, she's like, it's 90 degrees there. And I was like, this is an unusual warmth for this area. It's usually mid to high 80s in the summer. We have a couple of days, but they do on Long Island too. So she ain't fooling me. I lived there for a long time. But anyhow, we did some things in here, and just because he was, you know, he's like, if he had 10 minutes where he felt really good, perhaps like the ibuprofen had just kicked in, or perhaps it was like after he ate or before he ate or whatever it was, he was like, let me just do something. And he did a couple of things for me, which I really appreciate. But I'll share it with you. But I'm so anxious to get it done that yesterday I almost did it by myself. And he was very adamant about not, because I would have to like move this heavy box to go over there with the decorations. And he was really, don't do that, Jerry, please. I can't afford for you to hurt yourself more or like push your progress back or whatever. And that was very sweet, but it's like so antsy. Like he talks about it too. And I'm like, oh, I got that antsy too though. I got to get that. But hopefully you got to see what we did in the dining room so far, or the office or the den. He's like, I can see the vision of how it's going to be when it's done. And I was like, dude, I totally can see the vision of how it's going to be when it's done. I can even see the vision of the decor. Like I can even see that all set up. So I'm looking forward to doing more work. But today I'm in pain. So I do have to get on my phone when I'm done vlogging and look up exactly when I have to pick up my site to store pickup. Because for some reason, I thought they gave you 7 days, which would be the 14th. Or 5 days, which would be the 14th, I'm sorry. But then I feel like it said the 12th. And I'm confused because maybe I'm having something, the other parts being delivered on the 12th. I don't know. So if you do site to store pickup, make sure you check the availabilities at your store. Now, I did know before I ordered it that it was going to be at the Salem store. But that's okay because I've said I wanted to go to that Dollar Tree for a while anyway. It's a lot less populated than the one here, so it sells out of a lot of things a lot slower, which is great. Sometimes they don't even get boxes unpacked here before they're gone. It's really weird. But I'm looking forward to getting it finished. just wanted like, Jim's like, I just want to have one room finished. I'm like, I just want to have like this project finished because I've been promising people for like a week that I'm going to share that. We haven't done it yet. So, yeah. So I have a couple of things, like a couple of different ideas. And like I said, I want to show you a couple of different ways to decorate it with different styles and, I don't know, different looks, I guess, is really what I'm going for. A funny thing happened on the way to, in the living room. No, I'm kidding. We have these white plastic with silver hook command strips that we have in our fireplace that when we first moved in, we put them up to hang like all this different decor, and we hang Christmas stockings from them. And I have painted, I've taken some like oil-based spray paint, sprayed it into the cap, taken a brush and brushed the plastic hooks on them, because when I first hung them, I was like, oh, it's not a problem. Not plastic, metal hooks, I'm sorry. When I first hung them, I was like, oh, they're not bad. But then as I started to live with them, you could just see the hooks on the white fireplace with the white stickers. So I just went ahead, because they were already up, and I just, you know, spray painted. No, I brushed on spray paint. So they blend away. Well, 7 years. Christmas was 7 years that I put the hooks up. And I hung the garland, as you guys saw if you watched that video the other day. And we're sitting here, and all of a sudden, boop, it just fell off, the one that's on the right. So I said 7 years. I guess that's how long command hooks hold, 7 years. So what I have done before on the gray brick walls is I've taken the clear command hooks and I have E6000 them to the wall. E6000 is clear, dries clear, and the clear hooks, like you can't even tell that they're there. And hopefully I'll remember to take a picture from my perspective and insert it here so that you guys can see that you can't even see that there's hooks there. Now, if I would have had nails on the wall or any kind of clips on there, you totally would be able to see them if you didn't have something hung. But you can't see the hooks without stuff hung. So I said to Jim, I was like, maybe we'll do that instead of more of these white command strip things. But what I'm going to have to do first is actually wash the fireplace, because I'm not going to put the clear glue and a clear thing over the tobacco stains, and then when the tobacco stains get clean, then you'll see like this big yellow hook. It won't work really well, but we'll talk. You know, we talked that's something we'll do. So, but I feel bad because it was so pretty and it was done. It was checked off the list, and then the cotton fell. It just happens sometimes, guys. You got to roll with it, you know. Sorry, I should just hold the coffee in the right hand. Maybe I'll hold it in both hands. Now, I don't know if you do know this, whether it's the COVID vaccine or any vaccine, if you move your arm, like the day you get it, do a lot of exercising and stuff, that's really good for it. So I've heard, the doctors have all told me, and I felt like that's what would help yesterday. And then I was like, did I not move it enough? Because now today it's like, it's not terrible. It's not like 911, go to the emergency room, pain or whatever, but you know, it just to give you an advanced warning, that's all. If I banged it against the wall, it would really hurt. Let's put it that way. So I want to talk to, or about a couple of my friends today. I have a friend that from the outside looking in, many people would just be like, she has it all together, and she does. She presents a fantastic side of herself to her community, to her job, to her family, but she struggles on the inside. And I think that it's really important to let her know that she's not alone. As women, especially here in this country, we all struggle on the inside. Even me with like, I have 1000% confidence or whatever. It's not even about that. It's about balance. It's about balance of like me time, family time, work time, peace time, time with God, time with the earth, you know, and balancing it, like taking a bath. Well, I don't have time to take a bath and garden, but if gardening is your peaceful time and not work, then you can just do that in lieu of a bath, kind of thing. You can, sometimes can just combine things. Like for some people who work, like for me, when I worked, it was spending time with family was my relaxing time, even if it was taking care of my dad or whatever. You know, but that's my relaxing time, is the spending time with my family, just sitting on the chair and watching TV. Me and my dad watched quite a few shows together, and he would wait until like, and he would record them the night before, and he would wait until I got home from work so we could watch them. And just sitting there and just like, you know, being playful during the commercials and just, you know, just rubbing his arm. He really liked just calm to like rub his arm or whatever. So, however you get your peace can be incorporated into your me time. My dad actually used to love to wash dishes. He loved to cook and he loved to feed people, but he loved to wash dishes. It brought him back to his childhood. It gave him like quiet time, the white noise that comes from the running water, the sense of accomplishment of like, how fast can I do it today? How little water can I use? How much soap, how little soap can I use? How clean can I get the dishes? How fast can they dry? How hot can I make the water? Whatever they were, he had all these little challenges, but it was his peace time. He used to fish, and then fishing became work. And then it was like, you know, just not as peaceful, but he still enjoyed it. But whatever it was, he just managed to like incorporate that into what he needed to do. And that's part of it. Part of it is like, oh, I need to do this. Your attitude about it. Your attitude about it is huge. And I'm not saying this isn't directed at my friend, because obviously this isn't about her. This is just her story triggered these thoughts. So let me just say that first, because she's amazing. But sometimes it's just your attitude of like, I have to do this, as opposed to, I love doing this. Or, you know, I will tell you that there were days when my job was hard, but my job was so rewarding. My career was so fulfilling that I loved doing it. So even the days where I was exhausted and I didn't want to stumble down the stairs, or I didn't want to get in my car and drive to the office because I knew what was ahead of me, it just was so fulfilling. It just took one smile, one good morning from one individual with a smile that just made your whole day worth it. All of your trials just wash away. So really, I feel like it's like, it's an attitude about it. It's the have tos as opposed to want tos. And a part of that for me has always been, hey, you know, my dad used to say something like, you know, it could be worse. You could be a ditch digger. You know, like he would always put that perspective on us. And my mom too. It could be worse. You could, you know, oh, we only peanut butter and jelly again. It could be worse. You could have no peanut butter and jelly. I was like, that's true. We've been there. So it doesn't take very much, you know, to put it in perspective. Does that mean you should settle for crap? No, it doesn't mean you should settle for crap. But it really does change tremendously when you can put some perspective on it that will make you see the blessings instead of the curses. It will make you see the gifts instead of sorry, something just popped into my head and I just lost my train of thought. It helps you see the gifts and not the costs. It's really, really it's not always easy to do, especially on days where it's like, ugh. But, you know, it is, it does make everything better. I said to Jimmy a lot during our relationship that, you know, does worrying make it better? Does being negative or looking at the dark side of it make it better? Because if it makes it easier for you, I will support you if that's how you have to think. But does it really ever make it easier for you? And at first he was like, well, no, you know, yeah, because then I can prepare for it. And this, like, that was his idea about it. And I was like, okay, well, if it really does help you, then I'm okay with it. Then he started to get where, he really couldn't come up with an answer. And then eventually he got to the point where he was like, not really. I thought it would help me prepare for it, but nothing can really help you prepare for it. We always say prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And that's really a good way to live, I think. Like, don't have to dig a hole in the ground for your shelter. You could, especially if you live in Tornado Alley. But you also don't have to be ignorant to the fact that there may be tornadoes here, kind of thing. So most people live in that gray area between. But I also spoke to another friend this morning, and she has helped me so much through this time of loss that I value her. I mean, she has touched me over the years. She's touched my heart so much over the years. But this last 9 months is just, I almost don't know where I would be without her. I have my family, I have my friends, but people who have gone through it, who aren't currently going through it, definitely have a different perspective to add, because they do remind you that you can get through it. You have survived 100% of your worst days, and you will survive this one too. I think the lessons of do it for the person. How would the person feel if you wasted your life now, or whatever that thought is that you might have to process. It's so helpful. It's so helpful to have somebody who's had the perspective of somebody who's gone through it, but has successfully gone through it, or is not currently going through it as deep. So in talking to her, I realized that my age definitely has something to do with it. Having a more mature sense of perspective on life, I think, is really a big thing. Like, this wouldn't have been good 20 years ago. It wouldn't have been something I could handle 20 years ago. The loss up until today. So, having to go through so much loss already. Now, in my generation, I told you guys before, I only have cousins on my mom's side of the family. My father was an only child. And in my generation, which is my cousin's generation, we've only lost one cousin so far. Rob was the second. And Rob was the third youngest in the generation. And the cousin that died was the 1, 2, 3, 4, like the 5th? She might have been the 5th or the 4th. She might have been the 4th oldest or the 5th oldest. I can't remember if she's older or younger. I feel like she's older than my brother, but I think she is, but I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up. But anyhow, so like, we're talking about somebody who was like one of the oldest to somebody who was one of the youngest. And it's just such a different thing. And it's one of those things you think, like, you survive this loss, you really can survive anything, kind of thing. And that's how I feel sometimes. But anyway, I didn't mean for this to make it melancholy, but she just has really been such an amazing friend. And she reached out to me this morning to talk about something. And she mentioned how good I was doing. And I was like, well, the antidepressants really help. I said plus that I'm more mature. And this is just things that I was thinking about that I wanted to share with you, that having her, which I mentioned to her before, having her has been an amazing help. Having antidepressants, having the courage to ask my doctor that this isn't me. I don't like this part of me. I don't like this uncontrollable grief. I need to get through it. I need to process it, but I can't, because every time I try to process it, I break down into a muddly puddle. And then my age, having the maturity to realize that you get to a certain part of your life where you realize that we're not invincible and everybody dies eventually. And sometimes people are better in a better place because they're no longer sick. If you believe in that kind of thing, I should say. So, yeah, it was just an amazing time to talk to these women today, for both good and bad, but for insight. Not really bad, but one was struggling, one was not so much, and I just meant like they give you insight and perspective on what you're going through. So we'll see. I hope we get some stuff done today. Jimmy woke up this morning and he's feeling so much better. I actually said to him last night, I was like, turn off your alarm clock. We talked about when we made the schedule that Thursday and Friday was going to be YouTube days. But then since we've adjusted the schedule that we work so hard usually on Monday and Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday, that why don't we go ahead and take off Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday as days to rest or do light work, just like regular everyday housework. And he said that'd be great. And then since he rested yesterday, he thought he would work today. But I said, listen, you're not feeling good. You have to let your body recover from this. Just turn off your alarm clock. And he woke up at like 5 to 12. Now, he woke up earlier in the day. Like when I went to the bathroom, he went up and got to the bathroom, but then he went back to sleep. He's like, why'd you let me sleep so long? I was like, honey, you needed it. You've got to allow yourself to heal. Tonight, you take your melatonin a little early. You take your gummies a little early, and you try to calm down earlier so you can get to bed at a decent hour. But you deserve it. I was like, you've been working so hard and you're taking your COVID shot and it really put like a taxing on your body. You need to let your body recover from it. So he did, and he felt really good this morning. And I was like, that figures. Yesterday, I felt so good and he felt awful. And he's like, here we go again. Why is it that... I said, actually, what I said to him earlier was like, you know what I hate? And he's like, what? You feel good and I feel terrible? And I was like, huh. No, but yeah, I hate that too. It was something else random. But today I'm yinging and he's yanging. And as far as the decor project is concerned, that's really what we needed for him to yang and I can yang kind of situation. Or I don't know which one's which. I said to Sharon, I was like, which one is the yin and which one is the yang? You guys might know, and I can look it up, I'm sure. But I just was like, she's like, I don't know. But anyway, we were not in sync with our health. Let's put it that way. Let's just leave it like that. So we'll see if we have to drive to Salem today. Otherwise, we'll probably work around here. He wants to know what we're going to do for dinner. It's up to him, or how him and mom feel like what they want for dinner. I don't know yet. I haven't had breakfast yet, so let's have breakfast, then we'll worry about dinner. What else? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We're hopefully going to have Monday and Tuesday to, I want to say, finish the bedroom, or at least finish demolishing the bedroom. As far as laying the floor down is concerned, I'm having a little resistance from my husband. But like I mentioned to you in the voiceover from the closet video, he gets really, really apprehensive when it's something he has never done before. Like really almost crippling apprehensive. I don't want to say scared. Well, scared is the right word, but he just gets really, that I'm very hopeful that we'll get it done, but laying the floor part is really where he has never done it before. He has helped me do peel and stick, but really he's just brought me the equipment. I've tried to teach him a few times, but you know, it's not his thing. So, whatever hard surface floor we pick, hopefully he'll pick up a new skill. That's what I'm hoping for. And hopefully we can get it done very soon. Very soon. But anyhow, I don't know how long have I been talking. Oh, it's not even been that long. Okay, so, no, I'm just kidding. I do have to start my day. I don't know how long his vlog's going to be, but I got to start my day. Get myself some breakfast. Think about what we're going to have for dinner. I got a delivery today of my absolute favorite chips in the whole wide world. These are Quest tortilla-style protein chips, loaded taco. 4 grams of net carbs per bag. They're so freaking good. I've mentioned this before, but original taco flavored Doritos were actually my favorite. Those were the first Doritos that came to me in New York, I'm pretty sure, in the 70s. I gotta look that up. I'm not saying that Doritos aren't older than that or younger than that. It just meant like we had a lot of Wise potato chips. We had local potato chips. We had Wise. We had Snyder's in Hanover that came out of Pennsylvania. We had Utz, but that came out a little bit later, but they were more expensive because they were smaller and like a less supply and demand situation, so they're a little bit more expensive. But we had a lot of local Bachman. We had a lot of local snack foods, and Lay's just came like later to the area. So, but I feel like the first Doritos that I had were taco flavored, and I just love them. I'm really excited to show you what we're gonna do around here. I'm excited to have it finished. I really just want to be able to sit and enjoy and just like live in the space, spend time with the honey, doing the little things, keeping the maintenance, doing all the things Hugo. So the thing that he calls Haggy, that's how he first read it. And again, never make fun of some way someone pronounces it. They probably learned it from reading. But we call it Haggy because that was the first time he told me what it was called. But we've looked up, people have mentioned how to pronounce it, and then we've looked up how to pronounce it. And there's actually a couple of different variations. And I guess depending on where you're from and the dialect, that kind of thing. So, incorporating that into our lifestyles and making it more like our version or Americanized version, taking some of the principles, but not every principle. I'm looking forward to living like that, just to live a little like more simple, be able to like do a deep cleaning once a week and an everyday cleaning once a day. It's really funny because when he was sitting there and we were having the meeting, and I don't know if I told you guys this, but he was talking about like, it's really important that we clean up after ourselves. And I'm like, because I'm like, I've been saying that, and I'm not being like, told you so. Really, like, I've been trying to encourage you guys to do that since we started. I would say like, oh, we're all adults. There's no reason that somebody has to be assigned to do such and such and such. You know, we all just clean up after ourselves. It wouldn't be a problem. You see the dishwasher that's done? Unload it. You see the dishwasher, you see dishes that you're done using, put them in the dishwasher. Like, and that's another thing that's about perspective, because when we were growing up, we'd hand wash everything. And we used to be like, can we get a dishwasher? My father was like, nope, nobody would ever unload it. But anyway, I digress. This coffee's almost done because it's really good this morning. I got my curtain open. I'm going to enjoy my birds. I'm going to look around and decide to figure out what I'm going to do here. And I've already planned a couple of DIYs, plus finishing the ones that I have. Jim is just really concentrating on doing this space before we decide, you know, we're taking it month by month, whether or not he has to go back to work. And before that happens, he wants to get as much done as we can. So I'm really happy about that. Listen, I love you guys. I really do. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to spend and sit and have a cup of coffee with me. So many of you have said it's just like sitting down with an old friend, and that's the way I feel too. I've said it in the comments before. It does feel like that to me. It just feels like we're having a one-sided conversation, which is terrible. Oh, now that I just said that out loud, that sounds terrible. But that's, I just feel like chatting with friends on the phone. And as always, you guys, you take care. God bless. I'll see you next time.